Move on to the remake of The Magnificent Seven.
Which is also a remake of Seven Samurai.
Yes.
It's a double remake. If you haven't seen Seven Samurai, go and see it.
I will. I have not seen it, and I will.
And I have not seen the original Magnificent Seven. However, what the remake of Seven Samurai was in 1960, everyone have probably seen that by now. It's a bit of a Western classic, really.
Yes.
And they've dared to remake this again, and the story is a bit different from the original. In this one, we've got the town of Rose Creek, which has been terrorised by Bartholomew Bogue, who's a bad industrialist, played by Peter Sarsgaard. And after he sweeps through the town one day and kills her husband, Emma Cullen, played by Haley Bennett, goes up to this mysterious bounty hunter, bounty hunter of the law, who sworn by the law, who goes up to and kills and sweeps out and claims a bounty, and she goes up to him and begs for his help, and that is what starts the bringing together of the Magnificent Seven.
I have a proposition.
Now, I'm wary of propositions, miss.
Mrs. I'm not sure if my friend filled you in on the details.
Enough of them.
Then why won't you at least listen? We're simple farmers. Decent, hard-working people being driven from our homes. Men slaughtered in cold blood. Women and children without food or essentials. All because some man named Bogue wants to mine our valley and take it from us.
Bartholomew Bogue.
You know him?
Heard the name. What's this?
Everything we have. That's what it's worth to us.
Been offered a lot for my work, but never everything.
That man murdered my husband. Killed him dead in the middle of the street.
So you seek revenge?
I seek righteousness. As should we all. But I'll take revenge.
So after Denzel Washington receives the offer, he accepts it, and he starts bringing together the Magnificent Seven, which includes Chris Pratt as Chris Pratt, essentially.
Yeah.
He's Josh Faraday, who's basically... Well, he's got the look in his eyes. He's Chris Pratt. He plays Josh Faraday, who's basically the sharpshooter extraordinaire. He's got 2 pistols, and he knows how to use them. He's got that wink in his eye, and he's the cheeky chappy of the bunch,
Pew, pew.
essentially.
Yep.
And the rest of the ones involve Ethan Hawke playing Goodnight Robichaud, which is a great name, I've got to say.
It's a great name,
And
Goodnight.
he is literally a sharpshooter. He uses rifles and stuff, and he's extremely accurate. He's a bit scarred from the war, and he's not really sure if he wants to take part or not. And there's also Vincent D'Onofrio as a bit of a strange outback character who's been sort of left in the wilderness for a while, and he's gone a bit loopy.
He's a larger-than-life character.
Yeah, he's a larger-than-life character, and you've also got Lee Byung-hun, and you've also got plenty of... I mean, it's a long cast of really talented people.
Yeah,
and
there's 7 of them, and then the other ones.
The 7 of them, the 7 of them. I mean, I think to be honest, the main thing that you have to see to me and props for this film is the fact that it has tried to bring in some diversity.
Yeah,
in the group. There was a lot of there's a lot of things going on. I mean, you've got the fact that he's a Korean megastar, supposedly, Lee Byung-hun, who plays Billy Rocks, and he's basically the knife thrower man. He's best friends with Goodnight Robichaud, and he's got some really good moments. And then there's also the Comanche warrior Red Harvest, played by Martin Sensmeier, and that brings. I mean, there's lots of representation. There's also a Mexican called Vasquez. So there's plenty, and he's played by Manuel Garcia-Rulfo, and they are all so many different sort of types of characters coming together, and that does give you some sort of just a difference within the group, and not like cheap kind of representation in that way. They've all got their own little quirks, you know. There's the knife thrower, there's the arrow shooter, there's the sharpshooter, there's the cheeky one. You've got all these types of characters in there that allow you to...
They've not been brought in because they're of different cultures. They've been brought in because of their, specific
skills. So it doesn't feel cheap for me. I mean, it might be different for other people, but for me at least, it didn't really seem that way at all. So I like that about it. But to be honest, I think I didn't really feel it for a lot of this film.
No.
I feel like, I mean, I was enjoying it at times, but I was like, should I be feeling more at some point?
You thought it was a bit grim, didn't you? Like a bit more dark than you'd expect for something like this.
I mean, Antoine Fuqua is a capable director. He's done some really, really good films, and he knows how to work with Denzel as well, as we know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like it was a bit empty at points. Do you know? It seemed like it wanted to be this really sweeping western at times, and it's really like recapture the spirit. And when I think of the Magnificent Seven, I immediately think of that Elmer Bernstein theme.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't get it. I just didn't get that feeling of, adventure or sense of like fun or levity.
No.
I just didn't get that. I felt like it was a bit dour, really. I don't know. I mean,
I know what you mean. I do.
Like even when I mean, obviously for the credits at the end, that's when the score finally pumps in. But you don't really get much of it during the. I mean, you sort of get like hints of it throughout the film, but it's always like really subdued and like remixed into a bit of a darker tone, and it doesn't really fit.
No.
For me, for like what they're trying to do, when you've got Chris Pratt trying to wink his way through the film and roll off loads of one-liners, and I think that the seven do work together really well, and I do like Peter Sarsgaard as Borg. He's got that roguish, villainous,
He's got
pure
that.
evil
He's got
look.
like wobble in his throat.
Yeah, he's got that better than you look. It's like
Yeah.
he doesn't even want to look at you, because that'd be a waste of his time to even set eyes on you. I like that about him, but I know I just feel like the content that was in there didn't really match up to the performances that these characters were given, and I think under the premise of maybe just a change of tone or a bit of a script rewrite to sort of bring in some more levity, I think it would have been a lot better film. But I think for beat to beat, it did what I wanted to do. I think I think the action was really well done.
Yeah,
I think
it builds up to a good finale. I'll say that. Yeah,
the final battle at Rose Creek is really well done. I was really enjoying that. I love how it was all set up. I love how there's loads of different moving parts and story beats in that. Loads of different beats to hit, and or from the trenches to the bell tower bits. It's a really well crafted set piece. I mean, we know Fuqua can do action, so
yeah, it's what he does.
It's what he does best. But to be honest, again, I was just sort of. But as it was wrapping up, I was just sort of feeling, okay, it's the final battle now.
Yeah,
is it really earned? It's like, you just feel it was just building that way all the way of the film, because obviously it is, but you just don't really feel like it's got the journey there right in the end. For me, that's how I felt, to be honest.
I am of the same opinion. I thought it was a bit empty and a bit weightless. A lot of people have, a lot of people when it first premiered were praising Fuqua for making something that's very satirical and very. Very important bit of film, and he sort of said that wasn't my intention at all. I was just making a Western film, Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
But you can't deny that he has brought in a bit more multicultural aspect to it and diversified it a bit more than the '60s version. You kind of had to in 2016. People would criticise him just as much if he hadn't done that. I think Chris Pratt is probably one of his finer roles in film of his new career, of his new sort of, now that he's got big guns and big arms. He's still got that winning Andy Dwyer smile, and I think that comes through most in the film. It was good to see him smile again. I think after Jurassic World, in a role which kind of limited him a lot into just doing action and very little else, this kind of let him use his comedy chops a bit more, and I think it works. I think he's still looking for that star-making performance, and I think this, while he is sort of crowded out by 6 other men who are all fighting for the same Denzel status. I know Denzel already is Denzel, but he's got competition now.
Yeah.
I did like him very much, and I think I don't know what I think really. There's the whole thing about the way it sort of, people have said this. I don't know how I feel about this, but the way it sort of hypes up the use of guns. It's very prominent in the way that's the kind of thing that people are hitting at. The fact that it sort of obsesses over guns so much that it could be a sort of satirical jab at a certain Mr. President to be, or president candidate out there, which is possible. I'm not sure, but I thought it was just fine. It's not something I would particularly bother with.
Yeah.
I
did think it was fine. It hit the beats that it needed to perfectly well, and it is a well crafted Western. But to be honest, I was expecting a bit more difference,
a bit more oomph.
For all the diversity it has and for all the things it does right, it just doesn't add up to a greater amount than the sum of its parts.
No, I was looking forward to this. I really was, and it was
I expected more.
It was kind of a bit of a
kind of an alright.
It was kind of a bit alright.
Yeah.
So do you recommend it though?
Yeah, I think it's still an enjoyable ride. I think you will if you take the family. I think it's a decent ride. I think you will enjoy it. But to be honest, I think there's better.